reason why most people are broke and are going to die broke is because they live on more than what they make. You have to be able to sacrifice your present day comfort for your freedom tomorrow. The goal is to have money left over at the end of the month and not to have months left over at the end of the money. The goal is to try to keep more of what you earn. That is your seed investment. Most people are going to build wealth as employees. Don't get carried away by the glamour of social media. Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. Most people are not going to be entrepreneurs. Most people are not going to build multi-million-dollar businesses. In fact, 70% of people aspire to build a business of their own and live off of those businesses. Only 3% of people ended up successfully building and living off of businesses they can scale. They say the latest time to have planted a tree was maybe 2-3 years ago. But the next best time to plant that tree is now. So I want to talk to people who don't really realize that it is starting to get late for you. If you're in your 30s and above and you're listening to me today on this live stream, I want you to understand that it might be getting late for you. Yes, it is never late. But when I say it might be getting late, it just means you would need to do more than it is usually expected to get the same kind of results you anticipate to get, right? I look at myself now and sometimes I have to pinch myself. I have to remind myself, Gustav, married for 22 years now, 3 beautiful, lovely daughters, thriving business I'm building, worked in the IT industry for 11 years, tried multiple different businesses and finally seeing a headway with few of them. It never always used to be like that. Over a decade ago, I was scrambling to just get along. I was under the weight of debt, under the crushing weight of bankruptcy. I foreclosed on 2 homes. I felt little. I felt like I was finished. I didn't realize that I could achieve what I had always aimed to achieve when I came into America as a young immigrant boy out of the great nation of Cameroon. You know what? But during that time, I got to be reminded that yes, it is still possible. It didn't happen overnight. It happened with a few strategies that I'm going to be sharing with you today on this live stream, because I want you to understand that wherever you are right now, you might have missed the years that have passed, but you can still maximize the time you have to build the financial freedom you are looking for. You know, many people, truthfully, what they are really interested in, what they are looking for. I was having this conversation a few days ago at the barbecue I attended with some friends. And I said, guys, at the age of 40, 45, 50, you get to realize what you're really looking for is flexibility. The ability to be flexible with your time, your geographical location, and the things you love. But what provides the capacity to finance that flexibility is financial resources. So as you get older, you get to start realizing the things you used to think are the most important things are no longer the things that really drive you, are no longer the things that give you joy, fulfillment, and pleasure in your life, are no longer the things that give you meaning as much as it used to be. And so during that time, you start realizing, hey, I need to really have money. I need to have assets, because without these assets, I cannot afford the flexibility I'm looking for. I cannot afford the options I'm looking for. I hear a lot of people talk about retiring early. I don't plan to ever retire. I want to work till I die, but I want to work at my pace, at my choosing, at the time I want to work, not by somebody's schedule. That is the power of financial independence. That is the journey I have people on. That is the journey the people who listen to me are on. And if you're listening to me today, if it is your first time, feel free, give me a thumbs up, share this video with somebody, subscribe to this channel so you continue to get valuable information, right? It's important to understand that when push comes to shove, you really just want to live a life where you chose where you want to be, how you want to live, where you want to go to, the days you want to work, the days you don't want to work. And those things can only happen when you have assets, because these assets give you income. And this income gives you money, and this money gives you a chance to be free. I was talking to one of my friends at that barbecue, and I told him, boy, you know what really matters to me? And he said, talk to me, brother. I said, what really matters to me is that by the time I'm 55, 60 years of age, most of our children will be in their 20s. They will start getting married at that time. They'll start having significant milestones in their life, maybe top graduations, buying their first homes. I want to be in a situation where if you call me up and say, hey, Gustav, you know what? In about 2 weeks, my daughter is getting married. And I need you to be there, brother. You are one of the uncles she knows. You know what? I want to be able to call the person who books my air tickets and tell them, hey, I am traveling on this date to go attend a wedding for 2 days and coming back. And I don't worry about the cost of that air ticket. You know why? Because my presence at my friend's daughter's wedding at that point in my life is more important than anything else. It is important to me that the children see their uncle standing in the memorable days of their life. I have a big brother of mine. He lives out in Cameroon. He inspires me a lot with his lifestyle. And when I see the way he lives now, it makes sense to me, because 15, 20 years ago, when he started preparing for this time of his life, I could not understand why he was doing the things he was doing, why he was making the sacrifices he was making, why he was postponing present enjoyment for future gains. Today, in this time in our family, he doesn't miss any family event, but he lives in Cameroon. My elder sister had her birthday. My brother flew in here for 2 days, attended the birthday, and flew back to Cameroon. My daughter was going to college, her first day of college. My brother flies into the US, comes straight to Austin, takes my daughter to college on her first day, and the next day he leaves back for Cameroon. And when I asked him, he said, Goose, I want the children to know that their uncle is always there for them. And he couldn't have achieved that if he didn't have the financial means. So guys, when I come to talk to you about these things, it is because these are serious stuff. These are things that really are going to crystallize your life. These are things that are going to define your life for you. I don't care who you are. It doesn't matter whether you're white, black, Latino, Indian, whatever part of the world you're coming from. At the end of the day, life is going to be very cruel, bitter, wicked, and very, very painful to the poor, the old, and the sick. It doesn't have to be that way, but unfortunately, that is the reality. The worst thing you want to do with your life is leave your destiny in the hands of other people to manage. I tell my wife every day, I say, let me tell you something, honey. The greatest gift we should give our children are the following. Number one, teach them the fear of God and the love for humanity, for their fellow man. Number two, teach them how to find ambition from their own stomach, how to generate desire to want to be better from within, not because we want them to be or we tell them to be. Number three, how to be able to postpone present enjoyment for future gains. How to be able to work like nobody else so that in the future you can get the things and live like nobody else. And number four, and the most important of all of them, is for us as their parents not to be a burden on them. It's for us as their parents to always be there to uplift them and not to cost them. What I mean by that is I come from a community and a culture where we take care of our parents, and rightfully so. We should take care of our parents. I tell everybody I'm originally from Cameroon, I'm an African, and it's my moral duty to take care of my parents. If I can help my uncles, it is my moral duty to do it. If I can help my family members, it is my moral duty. But it shouldn't be against my own best interests. And so the way I look at it is very simple. For our children, The reason why a lot of us immigrants have to help our parents so much is because number one, they are living in countries where they don't have the kind of economic opportunities some people have today who have traveled out of those countries. Number two, they didn't have facilities like the stock market to invest and build wealth. They didn't have different means to create value and build wealth other than maybe saving money or buying some animals or doing some businesses, which most of them end up failing, right? But we have those privileges today. So yes, we take care of our parents, but we should also plan for our own retirement, for our own lives. So that way our children, when they are coming close to us, it's coming out of love and not always worried about whether they have to spend money on us. As a parent now, one of my number one priorities is when my grandchildren are getting married, when my daughters are getting married, I walk up to them before their wedding and I offer them a gift of a home, or I offer them some cash. When my grandchild is going to college, I have to go to my daughter and say, hey, my grandson is going to college. That's a good thing. Here's a check for $50,000. Get him started with that. I have to leave a trust. In that trust, there have to be resources. Those resources have to be perpetuated so that the next generation, the 10th generation of my family, will benefit from that trust like the Rockefellers. Why is that impossible? It only will not work if I am not understanding of number one, what it takes, and if I don't want to make the sacrifice it takes. It doesn't have anything to do with my income level yet. It doesn't have anything to do with how much money comes into my account. It has everything to do with number one, my mindset, and number two, my hunger and determination to want to make sure that comes to pass. Hey, sorry for stopping the regular programming. If you're watching this video, you most likely are looking for clarity and confidence onto how to invest in assets, especially on the stock market, to build wealth, build a life of meaning, and certainly bequeath a lasting legacy. You know, in my community, I teach people just like you, whether you are a middle class earner or you're a high income earner or extremely high net worth earner. I teach you techniques, strategies, easy to use secrets that you can apply to your own life, to your own income that comes in, and how to multiply that income into significant wealth over a period of time. I teach you how to invest not only on the stock market, but to invest in yourself, to uncover your purpose, and to be able to build a life of meaning and legacy, which is the desire for many people. So if you are here on this platform today watching this video, you are certainly looking for something. Even if you're not looking for something, divine appointment has brought us together. So don't leave without clicking the like button, subscribing to this channel, and click the link down in the description section. Book a one-on-one call. Let's have a conversation. I might just have some ideas that will unlock not only your potential, but will set you on the path to build significant wealth. I will see you on the inside. So today I just want to talk to you a little bit about the 7 principles that are going to help you get from where you are right now to on track to become financially free, financially independent. The things I'm going to talk to you are common sense stuff, but they are not common practice. They are simple, but they are not easy. They are simple because they are everyday things you can do, but it's not easy because 99% of people will not take action on these simple things. 99% of people will not have the discipline, the consistent determination to continue on this path. That is why if you are listening on the line today, take advantage. Pick up a notepad if you need to make some notes, right? The first principle, live on less than you make. The goal is to try to keep more of what you earn. That is your seed investment. Most people are going to build wealth as employees. I say this all the time. Don't get carried away by the glamour of social media. Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. Most people are not going to be entrepreneurs. Most people are not going to build multi-million-dollar businesses. In fact, 70% of people aspire to build a business of their own and live off of those businesses. Only 3% of people ended up successfully building and living off of businesses that can scale. 90% of black businesses are small businesses in America today. They earn less than $25,000 a year and they are one-man own business. So what I'm telling you is, of course, I also coach entrepreneurs too. I teach people how to become successful as entrepreneurs, but I'm realistic enough to know that most people are not going to go that route. And most people really shouldn't. Most people have no business becoming entrepreneurs. Whatever the work you're doing right now, whatever income you are making, the most important thing is to be conscious about that and make sure that at every point in time you live on less than you make. And living on less than you make means it takes a certain amount of consistent and conscious effort to know that yes, I get bombarded by all these desires. I get bombarded by all this messaging to buy this, to buy that, to spend money on this, to spend money on that. But I chose to live on less than I make. Because the reason why most people are broke and are going to die broke is because they live on more than what they make. You have to be able to sacrifice your present day comfort for your freedom tomorrow. The goal is to have money left over at the end of the month and not to have months left over at the end of the money. I hope you took that one down, right? Because a lot of people, there is more months at the end of the money than there is money at the end of the month. You don't want to be one of those. The second one, which you want to pay attention to, you have to live on a plan, guys. You have to have a plan. The most interesting thing I always see to me is, and it always beats my imagination, people have plans for everybody else. They have plans for their pastors. They have plans for their employers. They plan to work for their employers for 40 years. They plan to pay their mortgage company, their mortgage. They plan to pay all their bills, but they don't have their own personal plan for their own personal economy. They have plans for the White House. They want to vote Democrats or Republicans. They want to do this, but they don't have their own plan for their own economy. I tell this all the time. Don't worry who is in the White House, guys. Worry about your own house. How is your own financial house looking like? How is your own emotional house looking like? Because a lot of times, whether you like it or not, when the finances are not right, the emotions most likely will follow too, not to be right. How is your house looking like? Are you paying attention to your own house? Do you know how much comes into your account as earnings every month? Have you taken the time to just look at that and know what the numbers are? And once you know what comes in, do you know where it goes to? You will not believe how much money you spend on frivolities a month, on things that you really don't need, things that are wants but are not needs. Listen here. You would hear tracking your income. I'm not saying it has to be perfect. You don't necessarily need to have a perfect spreadsheet. No, none of that stuff. I am not that. I've never done that. I've always tracked my income at the best about 80 to 85%. But that helps me because of the size of my income. It gives me a chance to be able to save a lot of money I'm wasting and transform that into investable capital, put it in investable vehicles, and it's building wealth for me right now, guys. So when I say track what comes in, I mean there are tools out there. There is Rocket Money. There are all kinds of tracking tools that you can download applications on your cell phone and connect your bank account to it, and it will give you categories of expenses every month. You can even put alerts in it to tell you when you're spending more than $10 to give. So different ways by which you can help yourself. The goal here is to know exactly where your money is going to. Because when you don't know where your money is going to, you'll always be short of money at the end of the month. When you start tracking it, what it does is, number one, it gives you a chance to be able to determine whether you need to spend in those areas or not. Let me tell you, food is a necessity. Everybody needs food to live. But eating out, dining out is a want. It's not a need. I want you to understand the difference, guys. Dining out is not a need, it's a want. But the food is a need. It's important to also understand that once you identify where your money goes to, the loopholes, the traps, the different areas that the money slides out, you can be able now to have a better grip and understanding of how to manage that. A few weeks ago, every 4 to 6 months, I will go to my bank account because I have a tracking app. But I will still go back to my accounts and really take time to look at those expenses. And one of the culprits that have always been helping me a lot is subscriptions. We live in a subscription-based economy today. About 3 weeks ago, I was able to look down my account and I was able to determine about $180 of subscriptions that I don't use. I had ADT in my house. ADT is a security company. I put some security things in my house, on the door, alarms and things like that. I haven't used it in 3 years. The security report of my neighborhood is so low. The crime rate is so low. I didn't even check those things before installing ADT. And I've been spending $59 a month for the last 4 years on something I don't even need. Now they told me to send back their device. I went to look for the device. The damn thing had been disconnected for the last 4 years. But I was spending money. Take $59 times 4 years times, let's make it 60 for easy math. 60 times 12, that's how much? 720 times 4. That is about $3,000 I've spent on something I don't need, guys. Think about it, right? I saw other subscriptions. I have about 4 sports subscriptions, streaming services to watch soccer. I love soccer, so I always watch. I used to watch soccer a lot. But the last many years, I no longer can watch a whole game for 90 minutes. All I do is at the end of the day, I sit down in front of my TV, I turn on YouTube, and I watch highlights of the game. 7-minute highlights. By the time I watch for 1 hour, I've already watched about 6 to 7 games. That's enough for me. I no longer need to watch the game. So why do I need that subscription? I butchered all of those things and I got myself back $184 in subscription costs. But here is the kicker, and here is what I want you to pay a lot of attention to. Once I realized that I was able to identify those savings, I immediately increased my automatic investment in one of my investments account. So that way, that $187 is automatically converted into investable capital and starts making money for me. I didn't wait for it to do any other thing because it is money I didn't know was going out already. So I've already planned my life without that money. So I don't need it. I just transform it to be an additional amount that I invest every day into buying assets on the stock market. That's how you build wealth, guys. That's how I've been able to get myself from about over 10 years ago when I filed for bankruptcy. I foreclosed on 2 homes. I paid over $100,000 to the bankruptcy court and another couple of tens of thousands to family members who are owed in debt. I couldn't afford to rent a house without putting down 3 times the monthly rent in caution. It took us 7 years to rebuild my credit to be able to buy a home again. I was finished. I was broke. My family was shopping in Goodwill at that time. So the second thing, you must have a plan. Don't have a plan for everybody's life and you don't have a plan for yourself. Don't be one of those who is always happy, excited, so quick to help organize a party for friends, to help organize a community party. If it's a work party, you are the one organizing potluck. If it is this birthday, you are there. That birthday, you are there. This one, you are there, but you don't have no plan for your own life. You are hoping that when things go south, somebody is going to come help you. Hey, if this is your first time on the channel, of course, please click the subscription button, click the thumbs up. Let me know that you are here. Leave me a comment down in the comment section. Let me know if you have some other topics you want me to talk about. I'll gladly do. Remember, on this platform, we talk about personal development, becoming your best, learning how to uncover your purpose. We are big on wealth building through accumulation of assets and income producing assets. And we also teach people how to leave a lasting legacy, how to leave something that will make your name unforgettable even after you're long gone, how your children can benefit from the grace of your life, how they can walk into places and other people will recognize them for the work you did. That is what is called a legacy. That's what we help people do. So this is to your great success, right? Until the next time, be well, be blessed, and by all means, never stop being a blessing to somebody. And I'll see you in the next live video. Take care and see you later.